All right, got the carbs off. Looks like I just caught a fish. We're going to take these to the shop, tear them apart, try to get them cleaned, and that should complete option one to make this thing run. So this is nice because it kind of opened up a lot of stuff I didn't know existed. Again, I'm kind of learning as I go. So there's clearly the fuel line. That's pretty... I imagine at one point that was clear. I'm going to replace that. Inline fuel filter. Now here is the oil. I'm not sure if that's a filter or maybe a one-way valve. I'm not really sure. I'll have to do some research on that. But there's the fuel lines where they go into the carb. A little bit of oil still in there. I'm going to drain all that. Boots look really good. Other thing I'm going to do while it's sitting is spray some penetrating oil on the brake cylinder. I guess we'll let that soak, and I'm going to try to push down. I have one of those hammer screwdrivers that you can hit and turn, but let's see if I can't get a lot of force. Alright, got one out. Kind of rusty. Perfect. So let's get these out. Let's see if there's anything in here. Oh. Alright, that's bone dry. So let's get this full of penetrating oil, let it soak in, and hopefully we'll free up that cylinder. Okay, so we're back in the shop. We've got the carbs off. And that was the broken choke cable. And here is the used new to me cable, which is still an OEM on the same unit, except that's a little different there. But I don't think that'll be too big of a deal. We'll see what happens, but I can't imagine it's going to be that extreme. So let's get these bowls off, get this carb cleaned. I could smell the old gas coming out of here now. That's pretty bad. But these screws from the float bowl are coming out very nicely. Let's see what we got. I expect it to be pretty ugly. I'm actually very surprised at how clean that is. That's not bad at all. And the floats aren't even sticking. But let's see what the jets are doing. Thankfully that came out nice and easy. Get that. Nearly perfect. I'm going to slide the pin out. I'll take the float plunger. I don't know, it doesn't want to come out very easily. I don't know if I want to mess with it and a break in that, because that could be bad. So let's just ignore that for now. Yeah, it seems to be bringing fuel in okay. $12mm. Let's compare the new to me one. Okay, that's gonna work. Sprayed onto there. Right, so it's coming out of both sides. I also want to spray in this where the air is actually put in. It's coming out the top and the bottom. So this one's good. I'm going to give it a 480-second massage here in a minute. I don't want to adjust that. That'll be okay. And then only other thing we have is this. But again, I'm just going to leave that. So let's get the second carb pulled apart and work our way to the ultrasonic cleaner. So there's one of the carbs. It came out pretty good. How dirty that water is. So I do want to get a little more thorough with the cleaning. So for the fuel to air ratio, I'm actually going to measure how many turns in and then take it out and then clean it and put it back in. So here we go. So this is 1/2 one full, and that's it. All right, so it is all the way in and one full turn out. So let's see what this looks like. Alright, so we are all the way in. Half turn out. Another half, so one full turn out. Perfect. Let's work on getting the choke cable in now. It actually moves very freely. So it looks like we need to get this jam nut off. What do we got here? 12 mil. I'm guessing that Polaris was smart and put a 10 mil on that. Very good. A little bit of dry lube. Kind of line it up with the old one. And we can make fine adjustments if we have to. And there we go. Perfect. Okay, we got the other carb back. Do the same thing on this one. We'll see how many turns in it is. So there's 1/2. One, yep, that's it. One turn out. All right, so 2 days later, we're back. We got the carbs cleaned, choke cables installed. Yeah, still got to work on the master cylinder, but let's get the, I'm not going to worry about the oil right now. That looks okay. May replace the fuel filter and also just see what I can drain out of here. Kind of odd that it's so high. I would think that it'd be down low, but hey, whatever. So let's pull that off, see what we can drain out of there, and then hook the carbs back up. So the last filter had a little thicker barb on it, so I'm just going to cut that down so it fits a little snugger. There's actually plenty of line, and again, I do eventually want to replace all this. There we go, that's nice and tight now. Awesome. So again, not too sure how good the oil pump is working yet, so I'm just going to run 50 to 1 in here just to make sure. Plus it's 92 and non-ethanol. Guess it'll probably be a little bit rich, a little smoky, probably foul the plugs out maybe, but at least I know I'm not going to burn the motor up. And then I'll test the oil injections pump, make sure that's working. So probably drain that eventually, because who knows how old that oil is. Maybe I'll just do that now. So with the carbs, you've got a longer cable for the choke and a shorter one. So obviously the longer one is going to go further away. Get the fuel line hooked up. Pop her back in. Make sure this is oriented properly around the throttle cable. Do that. Here's the other fuel line. That all looks good. Well, key is on, kill switch is off. Let's put the choke on and see if anything happens this time. No, nothing yet. Let's give it a second to sit. Definitely filled up the fuel filter though, so that's good. Working our way into the carbs. Let's see if it... Oh yeah, it's got fuel in it. All right, so we're working on filling the bowls even more. Alright, so I'm back a day later. It's been sitting. Nothing looks any different in there. But I don't know, turn the choke on. Give it a few pulls, see if anything happens. I can smell the fuel coming out of there. Not entirely sure what direction I'm going with this yet, but I'm just trying to come up with something. Can at least take a look at them, see if they're moving like they're supposed to. Started digging around a little more, and I pulled the carbs off. Just looking inside and see what's in there. I mean, piston doesn't look scored. That all looks good. I know, but again, there's like some vapor in it. So I see it coming out there. I might give it a few pulls and see if I can get some of that vapor out, whatever that might be. Again, sounds like this is running really rich. Well, there's something happening there. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. I'll pull the other. I don't think I gotta pull that other boot off, but I'll keep pulling it, see if anything happens. Well, that's interesting because, again, there was no carb on there. There's a lot of gas. I'm thinking maybe the chain case oil is full of gasoline and it was running too rich. Then I had spark, I had everything I needed, compression and fuel, but way too much fuel. So I'm going to put the back end up because I'm sure it's going to take off if I don't. Let's see if we can burn that out of there. And then I'll come back and I think I can drain it down there. Okay, I've got the track off the ground. I've got the fire extinguisher ready to go. Clear path of egress. Let's give it a few pulls here. I know some fuel's going to come out of it from the fuel pump, but I'm just going to put this towel down there to absorb it. Let's see how much comes out of it actually. All right, here we go again. No, I think whatever vapor was left in there is gone because nothing's coming out anymore and it won't start. I'm going to pull the crankcase oil out, and if there's any fluid in there, gasoline, whatever, we'll get that out of there. Of course, they make it challenging to get into. Let's see. We're just going to absorb in a rag. That's our plan for now. We'll come back later and clean it all up. Oh man, that's really liquidy. And it stinks like gasoline. And there's hardly any. Look at that, nothing else coming out. Well, that's that. Let's figure out how much we got to put in there and we'll fill it up. So I've got that drained, which is the cylinder on the right, and so another one on the cylinder on the left. I've looked all over here and I can't see anything that would indicate it has, I guess, crankcase oil in it. Maybe it's just got a sealed bearing. Again, I'm clueless. I did some research, but I was very limited in what I could find. Oh, look at that. A garbage bag in there. Oh, all sorts of stuff. A lot of nuts too. I'll have to get the vacuum for this. Alright, well, I'm going to open up this thing. See if anything comes out of here. And maybe it's just a drain, I don't know. Well, smells like pure gasoline coming out of there. So maybe it is in fact a drain. You pull the cord a few times, see if anything more comes out of there. Well, I'm just going to put that back in. I'm not going to run it until I do a little more research about the oil. So we'll just put everything back together, see if it fires up now. And before I put everything back together, I'm going to get everything cleaned out here real quick, especially finding all that stuff down there. Okay, everything's back together. Boots back on, carb back on, fuel lines hooked up. I imagine we'll have to pull it a few times to fill the bowls back up. I drained all the gas out of there intentionally, just in case there's any bad gas that may have been left in the line. So let's start pulling, and maybe I'll leave the choke off for about 5 or 6 pulls, see if anything happens, and then if not, put the choke on and keep on pulling. That's a really good start. Let's keep on pulling. Oh, that'd be just a little starter fluid. Any fuel came up yet? Yeah, we're getting there. Well, that worked out good. Let's make this the conclusion of part 2. We got it running. Like I said, I'm going to do a little research. If anybody knows if this has chain case or crankcase oil, let me know. Maybe I won't be able to find it, but I don't see a dipstick. Maybe those drains are for exactly what happened. It got flooded and didn't want to run. So that's what solved this problem, is getting all that old gas and whatever else was in there out of there. Cleaning the carbs, fresh fuel, new spark plugs, fuel filter and oil. So thank you so much for bearing with me through this. I'm going to keep going on it, cosmetically and mechanically as well. Still got to get the brake cylinder done. A few other things we got to address. Let's get rid of some rust and other things. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on part 3.